Hey guys, this is Dan with another battle report. This week I'm playing Scum, and I've got 4 Y-Wings, all Syndicate thugs with the BTL A4, an Ion Cannon turret, and the R4 aggro mech. This is going to be a very linear, straightforward, ground-pounding list, and hopefully I can control them with the Ion Cannon turrets. My opponent, Billy, he's playing Rebels. He's got B-Wing with 10 Numb, Push the Limit, a Mangler Cannon, and advanced sensors. His A-Wing is Tycho with Push the Limit, Shard and Refit, the A-Wing Test Pilot, Auto Thrusters, and Predator, and 2 Z95s, Tala Squadrons with Feedback Array. For deployment, I put everyone in squad formation, and my opponent placed part of his force directly ahead of me, and he kept Tycho on the flank there. One of the things that's going to be problematic for me is his choice of terrain. He picked 3 debris fields, which is why I'm breaking up my formation on turn 1. Anyone who's played a Y-Wing before knows that they have limited green on their dial, and I cannot afford to stress out my ships by just flying through those debris. My opponent's gonna come at me slowly with his Z's. The feedback array, he knows they're gonna die, but the more damage he can do to my Y's, the sooner he takes out a Y, the less threatening my list is. And Tycho is gonna wrap around me. One of the things that scares me about the list is definitely 10 Numb with the Mangler Cannon. There's some awesome synergy there. The Mangler Cannon, you get to turn one of your hits into a crit, and with 10 Numb's pilot ability, he gets to make sure that the crits are unavoidable. That's going to be really bad for Y-Wings because most of their hit points are in just hull, which means they are going to soak up lots of crits, which could make them very ineffective depending on what critical effects my ships get. Because 10 Numb is such a threat, he's definitely first on my target prioritization. Like my opponent thought for a moment what to do, and he's going with the focus. Maybe he thinks I'm going to shoot his Z95s, and he wants that little bit of defense. My opponent is activating before moving. And he chose to barrel roll in front of the asteroid. His intent was to give himself an extra defense die if I were to go after him. Try to block some of my shots and make his B-Wing a little more survivable. Looks like there's 2 hits there with Tycho, but I evaded 1 and just took 1 damage off. There's 3 hits with 10 Numb. I'll use a focus and take 2 damage, and that's all the shields for that Y-Wing. I evaded. Oh, I took a crit there. And looks like I evaded the last one. The critical effect I took was the one where at the beginning of the combat phase I need to roll an attack die and see if I take damage. This turn, because I'm range 3 from everything, it's not super ideal for me. I'm just getting my primary shots against my opponent, and at range 3, I don't even think I do a damage to him. He's able to easily evade all those. I'm hoping for a big turn 3. I've got to deploy my ships in a way where I can be within range 1 to 2 of Billy's ships, but I also gotta worry about maintaining my arcs because of my BTL A4. My turrets can only shoot in my front arc. The trade-off is I can then shoot twice though if they are in my front arc. And even though 10 Numb is right in front of a rock right now, I know he's going to use advanced sensors beforehand to probably barrel roll out of the way so he doesn't move his ship over a rock. I don't think he can clear it on his left side though, so I'm guessing he's going to put his ship down the middle. One thing I like about flying this list is how simple it is. You don't have to think incredibly hard. Most of your actions are going to be focused because it synergizes with the R4 agromech. Whenever I use a focus during my combat action, I get to acquire a target lock. So focus is generally the action you always want to take. It looks like he hit me. Oh, I forgot, because his ships are pilot skill 4. He can't really block me. My pilot skill 2 is coming into some advantages there. Tycho is right up in my grill. Yeah, I'm expecting that Y-Wing that took 4 damage last round is probably going to get killed. By the way, for those of you watching, I have not rolled my critical effect yet, but I'm pretty sure I remember rolling that either before combat actually starts or during combat, so... That Y-Wing is going to take all the just damage it deserves. Yep, there's the roll for that critical. And it looks as if one of his ships is not inside of the arc. Yeah, I think it may be Tycho might not be able to shoot that Y-wing. So he had to spread out his damage, which is great for me. Well, my Y-wing is surprisingly still alive. He's beaten up a second Y-wing, but I'm not complaining. If I get 4 shots this turn, that's great, because they're all going after 10 Numb. There's a range 1 primary that didn't do anything, and let's try my second ship. That looks like 3 hits. He's going to spend that focus and take 2. And there's my ion. And he's going to take a damage and an ion. I'll get the target lock for the agromech. Alright, let's have another Y-wing shoot at 10. That was 2 hits with the primary. And spend my focus, get a target lock. Ion cannon's going to do another damage. Third Y-wing. We're looking at just 1 hit. Boom, another damage. And Ion also going to get through another one. And that's it. 10 Numb is dead on turn 3. Well, that's about best case scenario. Alright, for moving, I've got 4 ships still alive. I'm thinking I'm going to have to do a lot of K turns on my next movement phase to be able to shoot anything, which isn't that big of a deal because all of my ships are currently unstressed. But the positioning is a little awkward for the ones up front because it looks as if they can land on an asteroid or debris field. So I might have to make some hard twos. That's the one that's beat up. I believe I'm just trying to run away with that guy. I'm not going to just give him a ship if I can avoid it. Even if it means that ship won't be able to do anything this turn, I'd rather save it for 2 turns. Oh, what I did there was I used my action to flip over that critical effect. For some reason I thought I had to roll for that critical effect, but it turns out I did not. You see, this turn I'm actually acquiring a target lock with one of my Y-wings because I know it's going to be outside of arc. And I also don't predict that my opponent is going to shoot that particular Y-wing, so it is better in this case to just get a target lock and save that for later. There was a little bit of debate whether or not he passed the debris field. In the end, we decided that he did not actually cross over the debris field with his template. So Billy's a good opponent, though. He'll never give himself the benefit of the doubt. Makes him a very honest opponent. Fortunately, I consider myself pretty honest too, so I don't make him take unnecessary critical damages. Fly casual. Because Tycho has Predator, actually not Predator, because Tycho has auto thrusters, I'd probably rather shoot the Z95s. You know, just I'm up on Attrition currently. It makes more sense if I were to just keep playing for Attrition at this point and go after his easier to kill models. Also, I'm not particularly scared of Tycho, just because the maximum output is going to be 2 most times. And if he wants to get up close for that third shot, I'm okay with it, because that's going to give me a better chance to eye on him. My opponent's feedback array is also not particularly great against me. You know, I've got ships with 8 total hit points apiece with very little defense, whereas it would be much better if he were facing, say, you know, TIE Defender, or not TIE Defenders, like a Phantom or a TIE Interceptor, you know, a ship that's pretty hard to hit. That's where he wants to use those feedback arrays. So I do feel like those TIE, or those Z95s with our little, I don't know, not particularly equipped to fight Y-Wings. However, they can still just outmaneuver me, even though their dial isn't particularly great. I consider that better than the Y-Wing. And Tycho does end up hitting me with that maneuver. But that's actually probably good for him, because none of my ships now can shoot at Tycho, and he can still shoot at me range 3. There's another hit that goes through, and he is just, you know, needling away these Y-Wings while they slowly try to turn around and shoot back. There we go, got some damage on that headhunter. Although my ion fails to impress. Back to dials. Currently I've got 2 Y-wings that are untouched. I've got 1 Y-wing that has 1 hitbox left, because that open critical you can see was actually the one that does 2 damage. Then I've got another Y-wing with 4 hitboxes left. And I believe I may have taken a shield or 2 off one of his Z95s. Other than that, Tycho is completely full health, and the other one is likely full health as well. I had that Y-wing just run right back into Tycho. Even though it cost me my action, I figured it would give me a position where I could actually shoot something. And because I have 2 shots per turn, I figured that's just as good as an action. The downside is, even though I'm an arc, he's also now an arc. So hopefully that ship can live long enough to actually get a shot off. Looks like he's got a range 2 on me, which I evade. Another range 2, which I evade again. Not too shabby. Alright, there's a range 2 coming back at him. And I decide to go after that one. I chose to go after the farther one, even though they're both range 2. Because I figured the other ship might also be able to shoot that one, and that gives me more of a chance to destroy it this turn, rather than spreading out the damage and having 2 Y-wings attack 2 different Z95s. This one's going to be range 3, so it's harder, but there's 2 hits, and that's a dead Z95. So I was feeling pretty good earlier when I took out 10 Numb and still had on my 4 Y-wings. Now I'm just feeling like an ace. We'll have to see what tricks Billy has, because right now things are not looking good for him. Oops, you know what? I must have misspoke. That was not the 2 damage crit. That was the one wherever I do a red action, I have to roll for a possible damage. So because I did a K turn, which is a red maneuver, I had to roll and see if I damaged myself. I believe it's called like engine damage or something. Alright, my Y-Wings are finally getting a little better position now, where it seems that I'm going to be able to get shots on his ships no matter where they go, because my angles are... I'm covering a lot more of the map currently. But looks like we might be a little too far there. He rolled for the debris field. Oh, I guess we weren't too far, because he's shooting my Y-Wing. And that one destroyed my secondary weapon, so no more turret for that Y-Wing. Tycho easily evaded my 2 attack dice. And I did ion that guy. Another hit. And boom! Look at that. 4 Y-Wings versus Tycho. An undamaged Tycho, but still. I'm feeling pretty good. Especially since this is honestly my first time flying the Y-Wings. I've always been interested in flying these ships. I just never had a reason until I bought 2 of the most wanted expansion packs, because I wanted to play all of them with the BTL A4 to increase their damage output. So far I'm pretty happy. It's a very linear list, but if they get an arc, they do a lot of damage. And they also have that control aspect with ions that I love. Kind of helps mitigate that their movement dial is so bad. That one just did a green maneuver to unstress itself, I believe. And now I'm just trying to get into a position where I think Tycho's going to be next turn. Got a nice little trap set up for him. But Tycho is not scared. He's going right after that injured Y-Wing. Got a range 1 shot, 3 damage, and the first casualty. Also, he successfully evaded me, got out of my arc, so he lives to fight another day. Thankfully all my ships are facing the right direction. I don't have to K-turn anybody. I'm going to spread them out though. I don't think I'll be able to get all of my ships in Tycho's arc, but if I can have them cover enough area, hopefully there'll be very little space for Tycho to actually hide. It's closing in. And he does another aggressive move, which puts him at range 1 of another one of my Y-Wings. And he is turtling up. He's pushing the limit for an evade and a focus. And did a range 1 shot on one of my undamaged ones. Taking a range 1 back at him. Took off my first shield. Ion turret. Using my target lock. And the focus. I'll put that target lock back on him. Looks like he evaded it though. The range 2, or range 3, sorry, the primary. And that's, I only had 2 shots on him. Alright, well that exchange, I got 1 damage on Tycho, I'll take it. Gotta sink in 3 more and wrap this up. Although I'm getting a little scared because if he keeps shooting at me at range 3, I may not win this attrition battle. I would have really loved it if my ion had stuck him, more so than my primary weapon, just so my other Y-Wings can position where they need to be. But Billy's no dummy. He saved his defensive tokens for that secondary shot because he knew he couldn't afford the ion. And there's Victor. Victor's a local. He's kind of a ringer. Looks like one of my criticals hurt me. I think it's the critical where I'm supposed to... That was the move 3 critical. Yeah, that one got me. Oh, he's running away. And that looks farther than range 3, so it's just smart. Even though he doesn't get to shoot me, he can take his time. He can circle around me and take a shot, then run away. And because he's so fast, if he plays that cat and mouse game, it's actually getting scary now. I'm gonna move 2 and shed a stress there. That Y-Wing can't really afford to do any 3 movement tiles because he keeps hurting himself with that critical effect. I chose to move these guys in this way rather than just move a 1 forward or a 2 forward and clear up their stress, because I want to be aggressive. I want to always have a shot on him. I don't want to play the long game, because if I play the long game, he's going to circle around me no matter if my stress is clear or not. I just want to get those shots. Although with auto thrusters at range 3, those shots are not going to go through. Alright, so all my bragging I did earlier about being up on attrition, I had 4 ships, he only had 1. You can kind of throw that bragging aside because it's looking pretty crappy right now. I got 2 stressed Y-Wings. One of them has no shields, the other one's undamaged. Versus a Tycho with one shield gone. I had that particular Y-Wing turn to the left because I anticipated my opponent was eventually going to move up the board. Whereas if I would have turned the other way, I would have had to spend the next turn turning. You know, I would have been chasing. I can't afford to chase Tycho. I want to predict where he's going to be at 2 turns from now. Looks like nobody has a shot here, which isn't the worst thing in the world. That Y-Wing on the corner will likely have a good opportunity to shoot at him next turn with a 2 left. And the other Y-Wing, I believe he's not stressed. Good, so he can do a K turn. And he's running away. And by running away, I mean he's circling me, which is totally the right thing to do. Rather than clear my stress, I had that one do a 3 movement because I know he's going to come after that other Y-Wing, and I want to be able to shoot him if he's going to shoot me. I'm rolling at Tycho through a debris field, range 3. That doesn't seem like that would have been very useful. My ships aren't in the worst position right now because they're facing different directions. It's going to be difficult for him to shoot at me without me getting at least 1 shot back at him. Unless he somehow gets completely to my side arc, I should be able to get a shot on him. At least that's the hope. But I'm greedy and I had no stress, so I'll just K turn. And my opponent looks like he's regretting this boost because that looks like a range 1 to me. It was definitely his intention to get outside of my arc, but he's given me 2 shots. Alright, range 1 primary. Looks like 3 hits, but that was 3 natural evades. And the ion we got an ion. Alright, second B-wing, primary, range 2. That's nothing. And I have no tokens. And my ion, oh, I had a target lock, but I saved it. Alright, well, both of his shields are gone, and he's ion. So this is really good. I know exactly where my opponent is going to be next turn. All I have to do is position myself to shoot Tycho where he's going to be next turn. Oh, but I forgot he's Tycho, so he can still do actions even while stressed. Whoops. I should have saw that coming. Although I'm not sure, I could have tried to block with my Y-wings. Oh man, I'm just testing my luck by going after all these debris fields. That is 3 stress on that Y-wing. That thing is going to be very, very predictable for a long time. Alright, primary weapon. Does nothing. Ion. That was three hits. Boom! A damage and an ion. Miss with the other one. Alright. So, I know where he's going to be. He can still do an action, but it's likely going to be a boost. So I should still be able to get him if I just do some hard turns. Or I can also try to block. Victor's double checking my work there. He wants to make sure I don't screw it up. Too bad he didn't really tell me. Ladies and gentlemen, I forgot that I had Ion my opponent. I am that bad, but I'm not that bad at trying to figure out where he's going to be. I literally had just forgotten that I had Ion my opponent. What you can't hear right now is me beating myself up over there in the corner, smacking my head saying, oh my gosh, I had the game, I had it. Why did I do those turns? I knew where he was going to be. Now I have stressed Y-wings, and it's gonna be a hope and a prayer that I can get a shot on Tycho again. Well, that seems like a good maneuver. I have no shots. And I cannot K-turn with that Y-wing. I'm also not even sure I can K-turn with... Oh yeah, I can. Ooh, that doesn't look good for me. Maybe this debris field will kill him. No such luck. And because his pilot ability, he can still do all of his actions even while sitting in the debris. I think he's going after my farther Y-wing because it's more damaged. Had a couple shots there with my range 1 I-wing, but I failed to hit him. Then my range 2 Y-wing also rolled some pretty poor dice. Billy's given me every opportunity to kill him, but I just can't roll the dice when I need to, or I can't remember how to fly when I need to. I got 2 stress ships. Probably should have just done a range 1 with that second Y-wing to clear him up. That second Y-wing, I'm not even worrying about clearing him up because he has 3 stress. I'm just trying to get him in a spot to shoot Tycho. But he is not in that spot. That is a range 1 shot. And that's a dead Y-wing. Man, I feel dumb for bragging earlier in the game. I believe this Y-wing is pretty good health. If he's not completely full, he probably has all of his boxes left. The camera is hiding that card, but he's pretty healthy. We're going to spend some time dancing around each other. Here's where I decide, you know what, maybe I should invest the turns and actually clear up this stress. So I took a 1 movement. I believe I have 2 stress tokens left on that Y-wing. I smell a boost coming up. Boom, boom, boom. 2 more hits to that Y-Wing. That Y-Wing that cannot K-turn. Ugh. Just gotta shed that stress. We're getting a little sloppy here at the end of this game. It's been dragging out, knocking each other's ships. This could be it for me. It's another 3 hits. Still alive. I've either got 1 or 2 boxes left, but it's not looking good. I know at this point, if I were to go 1 forward or 2 forward, that I was dead. So I tried to think of the most unpredictable movement that I could, and I turned towards the table edge that had the least amount of space. Because more often than not, opponent is going to turn towards the space where they have the most movement. The little gamble worked, and I believe he hit my ship, which bought me a turn. I'm going to try it again. That came really close, but thankfully I'm still there. He's chasing me. He doesn't have arc yet, but if he wants it. Oh! See that? He put his template out. Billy put his template out and he couldn't take it back because he can't pre-measure. And he just... He just killed himself. There's no way he can move next turn and not fly off the table. This dopey little Y-Wing has endured the game, stressed, just chugging along, and finally he killed his opponent because his opponent got a little too hasty at the end. We play out the game because even though we know the outcome, we still want to see how close it is. I turn, and then he tries to see if any of his templates would have got him aboard, but it does not, and he flies off the board. Scum wins. Wow. What a game.